Hey, what's up? This is another unboxing, or I guess technically also an unbagging of another watch. And here we go. And this is something I picked up at, you can see, Whatawatches. They're in Korea. And yeah, I was looking around their site, and they're kind of a boutique over there. And you can go to, you can see up here, whatawatches.com over here. And they're boutique, and they do special collabs with uh, some watch companies. And namely, I was looking at first, as you might be aware, they had a collab with Squale not that long ago. And they, what is it, Italiano Antartico or Artico? They look like the 39 millimeter blank pawn looking watches. They have like a more vintage black dial one, and there's a white version that looks a little bit more modern, I guess, with a black bezel. Pretty cool. And I was looking at the website and looking and see what else they had, just curious. And then I saw something under Stova. I said, what's this? It says Stowa Marine Midnight Seoul. And so I clicked on that, and this is what I found, and it really intrigued me because I really like Marine Chronometer style watches. I used to own a couple, um, mainly from Hamilton, the khaki Pioneer, khaki navy Pioneer. I had it both first in the navy dial color with the silver hands and I guess white accents on the print on the dial, and then later on I had the more traditional silver dial, which looks white with a black print and the blued hands. And it was a good watch for the price. I think you can get them. Retail is usually right around 1,000 or a little bit over, but you go like Gray Market or something like Joma Shop or something, you can look around. You can get them new for around, I think, maybe $700 or so. But they seem to be out stock in most places recently, unless you want to spend the full retail price of like around $1,000, which I did not feel like I wanted to do. But I've been looking for a Marine Chronometer watch for a while, and I was considering one from Decla, but all the pictures I've seen of it, they have like this, you can customize those and to have like a red 12, and you can choose the dial color and what else? I think um, they have them in 40 and 42, and what I've seen online, they might have been on particularly skinny wrists too, which didn't help, but they look like really big dishes on wrists. And yeah, I don't know, it didn't inspire me to go with one because I really wasn't sure. Even at a 40, if it was a 40, I can imagine it might be look bigger because there's not much bezel. It's really all dial, and and you know, and it's white dial, or at least that's what I would have gone with. And yeah, that made it look bigger. Anyway, so I saw this, and uh, what intrigued me was the colorway, and I'll show it to you in a moment. So let's get to it. So it shipped via FedEx in a plain big box to hold this included shopping bag that it was in. That was plain, so we'll just go into it. So it came with basically something like this. I did unbox it already, but so I'm gonna kind of show you what it had. And so, interesting enough, here it comes with this Darth Darth Vader like sticker, like this. It's like a chronograph. So you got some sub registers. I'm curious if this is actually a real watch that they have. And the funny thing is, they have like an Omega logo here. Um, I don't think there's an Omega edition that has this, like a Speedmaster or anything. That's a Darth Vader edition. There's a Dark Side of the Moon. But I thought this was cool. I like Star Wars. So, anyways, and sticker. I guess they were started in 2015, so not all that long ago. As of recording, this is 2022. early 2022. There's a card. Color your watch. Okay, well, I'm sure what that means. Actually, they had another squally edition there. And that's it. Thank you. So there's different ways to take care of your card. Or your watch. Not car, but they compare it to a classic car. It's easy to lose. Not to take off in any situation. Always keep it on wrist. They're vulnerable. White man, you buy an automatic watch. Okay. Never drop your watch on hard floors. That should go without saying. Please keep our warranty pure. Don't wind it between 8 to 3. I usually go between 9 and 3. They should be more specific. AM is which between 9 p.m. and 3 a.m. or 8 a.m. 3 p.m. I'm sorry, 9 p.m. to 3 a.m. and or 8 p.m. to 3 a.m. That's when if you ever, especially if you have a watch that has a date, that's when it clicks over. But if you don't, you don't have to worry about changing, the date. I think that means this should be more specific. It's not really changing your time because you need to set your time, perhaps, but more like don't change the date. Carefully open. I guess they really please enjoy the aging of the straps. It cannot be repaired. It depends. Keep away from magnetic. Avoid playing golf with your watch. Hard vibrations. Well, yeah. Unless, of course, you got a G-Shock, right? But these are talking, of course, mechanicals. Don't want to be high humidity like a sauna or hot tub or something. Okay, good tips, but some of them need a little bit more detail or explanation. 3 principles to keep your watch running. Well, depends on the movement, but for an automatic, like some people say that with the Edo movements, I still would manual wind it. I've never had an issue, but I suppose don't do it that much. Try to let it, I guess, finish the manual winding via just wearing it and then that rotor, get it going. I don't think this has been an issue with any Seiko movements or Japanese movements in general, like from Miyota or something. Okay, just more of the same thing. All right, good tips. So I kind of knew that. And lastly, I'm not sure what this is. Oh yeah, I think it's a cleaning cloth, like a microfiber. So it's probably branded. I'll take a closer look at that later. You want to get to the watch, right? And I don't want to be up much later to finish this off. This doesn't really fit in here. Anyways, there we go. So this is my first Stowa. They're a German watch company, in case you don't know, but they have a lot of real history. Let me lower this just a tiny bit. And I've seen this box already in terms of opening it up earlier when I got it. But I don't think this is a normal box that they come in. I'm talking about this. So I'm not aware that they have like this wooden box in this style, made in the Black Forest. Well, I believe that is something that they might actually have on some of their packaging, like because they are made in the Black Forest in Germany. So you slip this off, and there you go. Voila. And look, I think when I saw this earlier, I think this kind of leather textured, and I wouldn't say it's padded, but I think you can use this kind of as a like a caddy, a tray to put the watch on or something. So there's that, and guarantee, and make sure I don't have any sensitive information in here. Not really. I mean, there's no real serial number, but these are numbered limited edition to 100. So there's that, and that's pretty much it. You know, I know Whatawatches have done some special boxes for like the at least one of that Italiano Squale watch, the black one. They have like a special wooden box, and maybe this is kind of a special box too. So here we are. This is a 36 millimeter watch, and that's how it comes on. Nothing particularly special about this. It's actually, you would think they would put it on a nicer pillow, but yeah. You can order a special, particular size for the strap, so you can make sure you get a good fitting strap that isn't too long or maybe even too short, so you don't have too much of this loose end hanging off of this end. And that's the only thing that held up the order, is that they didn't have it in stock for some reason. So I had to order it from Stowa, and it took about almost 3 weeks, and then they finally shipped it when they got it. Yeah, it's funny they don't supply the watch on the strap or with one. But they said the watch is in stock though, and there you go. Yeah, I really have a thing for small seconds, and I really wanted it in a Marine Chronometer style. And you compare this to my Hosen, that's what I have on now, which is a 40. Quite a difference, but this is a much beefier dive watch, obviously. So I'll just show you this on wrist real quick. Oh, before I do that, let's just get a nice look at this beauty. It's got the... Well, I think most places say that this dial is not actually enamel. Sorry about the glare. As high as you see that, those lovely blued hands, thermally blued on here in small seconds. Capture that. But on their website, Whatawatches, they said this is a white enamel dial. I mean, if it isn't, it sure is convincing. And look, it has a nice. What makes this different? This is actually their Seoul edition, and it says it here. So there's a couple of things that make it limited Seoul edition. So that's obviously going to be something you won't find normally on one of these kind of style. They do have a Marine, like a classic in the 36, like this. You can order from Stowa. Usually they make these to order, but there's some differences here. And besides that, in this numbered limited edition, 91 of 100. Look at this. It's using is it Preseux? PESEUX 7001 manually wind movement. This watch is thin. I think it's like, I have to check again. I was looking at it. It's like an 8 point something millimeters thick. Nice and slim. I mean, you can compare it to a Hosen diver. Obviously, it's not a dive watch. 50 meters of water resistance. Oh, by the way, this isn't unboxing, not a review yet, but I'll just give you some quick specs off the top of my head. The lug to lug is around 40. I want to say it's 44.6. It might even be slightly shorter, but it's pretty, this is a 36 millimeter watch, but it doesn't have any bezel. So, and it's a white dial, so it opens it up, and we'll see it on my just under 7-inch wrist. And check out the blue screws. And what also makes this a special edition, and it's different than your production models. Oops, sorry. Besides that script there is usually also they will see hand winding, and so it's a little subtle, but there says hand wound. And the other difference is you see that this is Seoul edition, and Korea has like this. They call this a great absolute, but it's basically like the yin yang symbol. So that's on their flags. That also differentiates that. You see that on the winding gear here, and we'll see this. Wind this up, you'll see so buttery smooth, and then that moves, which is kind of cool. And there you go, it's alive. So the second hands go. And why they call this Midnight Seoul Edition is to carry on their theme. They wanted to, on their website at least, their marketing spiel is that they wanted to capture the midnight city sky color, which is a midnight blue. And that's one thing that interests me. And if you look closely at the print on this dial, it's nice. I'll say it's enamel dial because they say it is, but until we hear otherwise, whatever, right? I mean, it's sure as convincing as heck as an enamel dial. They use a midnight blue print, actually. So the only black print on here is actually, I think, definitely Stowa, their logo right there. And it's hard for me to see at this scale, but maybe made in Germany on the bottom. The rest of it is actually a midnight blue color, which is, I think, pretty cool, because anything bluish over a white dial, I think is an excellent combination. So you can see like the railroad tracks, everything, but of course the 60s red. That and all the Arabic number printing around the dial, and including the railroad track, is done in a midnight blue. And if you look, let me see if I can focus this close. I'm gonna back up a little bit. Sorry. I'm gonna try to boost up the exposure for a minute. If you look at Stowa, since it's black, you can see the difference, I think, in the tonal color. It's not as dark as that, so you know that's midnight. That's a blue, which is really nice. I think that also, that's one thing that's like, okay, I gotta get this. This is the right one to get, I think. And yeah, it's subtle. And from a distance, you'd probably be hard pressed to see the difference. But maybe in the daytime, it might pop out more. In my indoor lighting, it's kind of crappy. It's not going to show up as well. But I think you can just boost this up a little bit. You can just make it out. It's nicely printed. It's kind of almost raised. You can see there's a little light and shadow play around the numbers, and even the railroad track. It's not like a completely flat print. But you can definitely, I think, start to make out that you compare it next to the Stowa, which is definitely black. It's not the same color. So yeah. Let's see if I can hold the exposure a little higher. And we'll just quickly look at this on my wrist, just to show you, well, look how slim this is. And the strap is black, but they do recommend you put it on something dark blue or bluish to match, obviously, and I would agree, and I do have some in mind. The only thing about this was hesitant at first was that I was going to order one from Stowa a while back, but it's like 18 millimeters. I was like, well, I do have some straps, but not many. But it's just, I've mentioned this before, it's just all about adjusting your perspective and on like the scale of watches that you're not normally wearing. At first, it might be a little bit of a shock to have. I could probably tighten it, but I think it's all right now. Decent quality leather, of course. But this, try to give some back up my hand here a bit. About the shaking. Working on a flimsy tripod. I know. It's about right. This looks good. It's classic. And I figured also, I was thinking, a lot of people are really into the 36 millimeter Explorer from Rolex. And I think even 39 or what they have it now. Well, they used to have it at 40. They went back to, or it was a 39. I forget, but they did go back to a 36 recently. I think it's a good classic size. Could fit under the wrist. I mean, this is a Marine Chronometer, but who's to say that you can use this as a field watch? I mean, 50 meters water resistance. I mean, to be honest, a lot of field watches aren't that high water resistant anyway. And but yeah, I think just how slim that is, and it's very versatile. They do make, you can customize like this from Stowa, of course. You don't want the small seconds to have a different movement and like with the central seconds. But for me, it's got to be, for Marine Chronometer, it's got to have a small seconds. That's how I always picture it, and that's how I want it. That's how I like it. But you could, I think, have a configuration of this with not this edition, of course, but from Stowa with the Romans, which will look classic. But I think it looks a little too formal for me. I'm very particular about that. I think the only time I would probably be okay with that is with a Cartier, um, tank of some sort. But Marine Chronometer, I prefer just a straight, clean Arabic numerals. Also, being German watch, it seems like it's a more, less fancy, more straight, purpose-built jewel watch type of look. Yeah, this will work pretty good. So I'm pretty stoked to finally get this in. It take a, when I look for me, when I look at it, is it small? Not really, but I mean, compared to what I'm normally wearing, which is roughly 39-40, I don't have my 39 millimeters to compare it with on hand right now, but I'll probably do another comparison when I actually do a review on this. But yeah, this is it. The Stowa, I'll go with what they say at Whatawatches, the Stowa Marine Midnight Soul Edition. And yeah, gotta love that unique colorway that they did. All right, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next.